Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. A lot going on everywhere, in a lot of different realms: physical, mental, psychic, you name it. If you're not dealing with mental problems, you're dealing with physical problems. If you're dealing with physical problems, you're dealing with money problems. But there's a lot going on. Where I am, I call it the ghettos right now because there's all kinds of people getting their cars ripped off and trying to get their cars ripped off. We're talking in the middle of Hawaii. I mean, it does have a lot of crime around where I live right now. I don't know what the reason behind it. Nobody has money. Nobody has a job. But stealing cars, and they're taking the most ridiculous ways to do it as well. 2 days ago, my friend has a car about a block in his driveway, where his house is, with a fence, and they went through the fence and started ripping his ignition apart. And I guess they were going to try to drive through the fence to get the car. He went out just as they were trying to go away with the car. But the park where I want to go film my UFOs, they took a car in the middle of the day. A couple went over to the beach, which is about maybe 25, 30 feet away from the car, looking out at the ocean. And this guy jumps in the car, plows over a wall, plows into another wall, drives through the whole park, and drives away with their car. Sorry, Charlie. Can't answer you now. Stop it. I can't shut my phone off. So, all right. I want to get into a couple topics about the UFO world today because there's so much going on there as well. On this big island, we got so much activity. You can go on what's going on. I know you had a lot of comets and meteorites going around your planet, around you. So, people in the past couple of days saw a ship come straight down. I saw a ship going up and down, zigzagging across the sky. So somebody saying one could have been a drone because it was over the ocean doing circles and stuff. And anything's possible.
Wow. I'm just going to interject, but first I'm going to say hello here from the UK, everybody, and good evening. It's like 7:05. Just to touch on what Tommy has just said, because I'm always cutting him off. Poor Tommy, you'll feel sorry for him now. This week in Arizona, in the Arizona desert, and this is on Microsoft News, reported by SWNS, that there was a UFO recorded by two people that was hovering and seen by others in the desert in Arizona. It was quite a large UFO, apparently. That's been posted on the Microsoft News, so you can just log on to that and have a look. But the most interesting, I think, actual footage of UFOs, and it's real footage. It was from a live stream from NASA, and you can find it on skywitness.space news. The ISS recorded two astronauts for safety. Obviously, they have their own camera. They have a normal camera outside, but when they put astronauts outside the ISS, they put a camera. They activate one of their outside cameras to just reassure them that they can see close-up work that the astronauts are doing, and to guide them if they, it's hard to work in spacesuits, so NASA are just there watching them. On the footage released today on the ISS feed, 5 UFOs, that's 5 UFOs, can be seen on the ISS footage. Now, I've actually posted this on my Facebook page, so you can log on to Tina Barron and have a look, or go on to the internet news, and again that's skywitness.space, and it's the ISS, and 5 UFOs can be seen flashing merrily away in the background while the two astronauts are there working on the ISS. That's this week. So not only can you see 5 UFOs in the background in space, so they're not weather balloons in space, they are not spaceships in space because we don't have any up there, they're not satellites flashing because they're moving about at speed, and there's some distance from the ISS, which puts them out of Earth's orbit and trajectory. So you can see these things happily moving about on their own. It's not reflection because it is actually flashing. They are flashing. So so they can be seen, 5 UFOs there. So that is as real as it gets. That is But the photographic evidence, that's NASA, that's top-notch evidence there. You can see that 5 UFOs in that. And also in space UFO news as well, just before I let Tommy come back on, they're doing a huge space cleanup, I believe. It's been on the go, I think, since 2016. Someone brought it up about the amount of space, I think, since 1957 now, 1959. We've been accumulating space junk out in our atmosphere, so which needs to be cleaned up. So they can't really leave it out there because we are in polluting space as well as our own planet. So they've been sent up. I believe they're starting up a mission, or a mission's been sent up or set up this week to go to space and clean that up. And I mentioned briefly about the one on Microsoft News again about in the Arizona desert. So please log on to Microsoft News for SWNS and view that. Also, this week it's been on the news here in England that there's a huge asteroid discovered not long ago. It's called 2021 EQE, and it will pass by us this Sunday. I'm not sure what time it will pass us. It will come between us and the moon. So here's us, here's the moon. It's going to come in that space very close between us and the moon, and it's going to become 1/7 closer than what the moon is. So it's going to be pretty close to us, guys. So keep your eye out for that. And Tommy, back to you. We can talk about COVID in a minute. So it does back up what Tommy's saying about all the UFO sightings that they've been seen. There's been quite a few that have been seen recently. Tommy.
Well, here in Hawaii, like I said, if you go out and you talk to the average person, they all see things if they stay out at nighttime. The people that don't, I'm telling them how to go out at nighttime to look at the sky, because everybody wants to see a UFO that I talk to. And so, well, the only way you're going to see it is if you go outside and look. And the best time to look is early in the morning or kind of late at night after the sun goes down. But the different kinds of ships we're seeing and the actions and the interactions that we're having. Now, everybody can say this, that, or it's this, or it's that. But I mean, I actually witnessed things myself. So I know that I'm not telling myself that it's make-believe. But I saw green orbs crash into the ground. I saw pink orbs crash into the ground. So white orbs crash into the ground. No holes in the ground, nothing like that. So it wasn't a meteorite. What was it? But and then you don't hear people talk about it. But the idea that there's ships all over the place is getting a little outrageous.
Can I ask you a question, Tommy? Do you think because you're closer to it than me, being in Hawaii on that side of the planet, on the other side, do you think these sightings of UFOs are directly connected to all the volcano activity we're now seeing this year on the planet?
Well, I would say only certain races deal with volcanoes. Not all alien races want to go inside a volcano. We do have ships that go in and out. They do in Mexico go in and out of the volcanoes as well. But our volcano stopped. So it's not like it's active right now. So they're not going in and out of it, whatever race that was. But all the ships that we're seeing, the sizes are different. And like the mothership now sighted over the past couple of weeks, that has never been sighted over us. So there's something dramatic happening. Now, if we listen to the most richest people, I hate to use bad words, on the planet, like Mr. Musk and Gates, what they're doing, what they plan on doing, and what they're allowing. Now, Musk himself, okay, he's what, the third richest person on the planet? All right. He comes out and says, well, aliens aren't here. How the freak does he know? I mean, was he ever abducted? No. Was he ever invited? No. I mean, all those kind of things. So sure, he's one of the disbelievers. And you think with all his money, he could spend a week outside and watch the sky and see a UFO. But I didn't get to write him any letters personally. I mean, I write everybody else letters. And then he's planning on all these things about space, putting all these satellites around the planet and more and all these other things. And then we got Mr. Gates. I don't know, people, you better follow what they're doing. Mr. Gates' plan, and this is what he's planning for the United States, buying all the farmland. They want to stop cow production. What's that noise? Is that you?
No, well, every time I get on my link to you, all of a sudden I receive email after email after email. So it just updates automatic just on the show, Tommy.
Well, tinfoil hatter is in there. Greetings.
Hello. So, sorry, looking for questions. I'm looking for one. I'll find out how can
All
they
right.
learn.
So what I was trying to say is, Mr. Gates is buying all the farmland. All right. Now you know that this movement believes that cow farts and cows destroy our ozone layer and everything else. They want to stop production of cows. They want to stop eating meat. So that means they want to push the synthetic meat on people real soon. They can clone meat now. You know that, right? So they're going to be trying to force it in the United States on people. So it's genetically cleaner air, cleaner this and that, and all the other make-believe stuff that goes
Tommy, I
in.
don't know if you know you're glitching and you're freezing as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I can do about that right now. But
So is my emails. Nothing.
somebody's playing games right now. But people, I want you to start following them because what they're doing is not beneficial to the human race. Oh, I just heard today there was a major disaster Tesla car crash. I mean, obviously there's going to be crashes because some idiot plows into the car or some idiot cuts them off and they can't stop. But you know, when they design all the cars to all run on by themselves, they will be a lot more aware of each other. I mean, if you have a person behind a wheel and a computer behind a wheel, they're not in communication.
Surely, if it's a digital car or a technology smart car, it would detect other vehicles like themselves.
It'd be a lot smarter, and they could tell each other not to cut us off or cut into us or blow us up and do whatever you're doing. But no, keep an eye on them because the world is going to change. Mr. Musk said by next year, this world will be different. But don't forget, there's two things I want you to check out too. Blue gas, liquid batteries. Both of them have changed the economy, the way we produce oil, gas, and everything else. And that's all cars being manufactured, trucks being manufactured to run on that. Corporations are moving over to it already. So this is going to all happen within a year or so. So I want you to be aware of that. But now let's think about this. What do aliens really want with us? Let's get into that part of it because most people out there don't have a clue, don't want to know the truth, and they want to push a bunch of lies on us. I just stuck my link on Richard Dolan's site because his stories and what he believes in and all that other stuff. People's beliefs don't matter. Realize there's 7.4 billion people on the planet. Every one of them has a slightly different belief system. Can any of them really help us prepare for what aliens are really doing here? No, except somebody like Tina, who is on a ship, who is being, whatever you want to say, by them. So she knows more than 99% of the people on this planet and what they really are. So, you know, I do this show to bring truth out, not to make money. She's not making money on our show, but I want her to put a book out sooner than later because people need to know a real story. And I say she's one of the most honest people that I know and I trust, and that's why she's on my show. I could have a lot of people on, but there's very few people that I believe what they say, trust what they say, and want to push what they say. Because Tina's not trying to make you believe aliens are good and they're going to save us and all that stuff, because they're not. But all these other people go on and on about the good stories, what they did, what they're doing. I mean, the new movie that Corey's putting out about his story with the aliens, is that going to help anybody? And everybody's saying, oh, it might be like Star Wars. Well, that would mean it would be another story, just like Star Wars itself. So, people, I want you to start doing a little homework. If you listen to this show, get out there at nighttime. Get out there in the morning and look at the sky. Because we want to get some real pictures of stuff. I don't care if it's mine or anybody else's. But let's get some real stuff out there so people don't have to look at what the government put out. A tic-tac. Oh, here's a little dot moving in space and going around. Big deal. Let's see a real ship. My friend who I was friends with for a long time, we are no longer friends, but he copyrighted all the pictures we shot. But we had pictures of real ships, what they look like. Not a dot, not a square, not a triangle. I mean, sure, some of the ships were that shape, but most of them were different forms of real shaped up ships. So, and that's what people need to see, and not print shopped or whatever, Photoshop, things like that. We need to see real pictures of real ships and put them out there so people know what's above us. And then they could start thinking, who's flying it? What's inside it? And what do they really want? And that should be the questions, not like, well, we want disclosure. We want the government to come out and say UFOs are real. That's like 100 years ago. We needed that. We need more than that.
Yeah, but which government? They're just waiting for the American government. The Iranian government and the Chinese government have already come out and said this.
Well, I know Putin on Russian TV said they're dealing with 27 races. 2 races want to destroy the planet. So they're already explaining what's going on with them and aliens. And the government's so far laid back, it's just mind-boggling that this is supposed to happen now. And whether Trump's fully responsible for it or not, we'll see. If it's,
how many days left, Tommy, till your evidence comes out?
I don't know. I wish I knew the exact date. I mean, they said,
isn't it?
What was it?
About June time.
It should be before the summer, because 120 days, and that came out a couple months ago. So 30, 30, and 30. I mean, it's like we should be almost there. So it should be before the summer. That's
May, June.
Before June. So we'll see. And then what they're going to release. I mean, a lot of the documents that we've already given out, already blocked out. I mean, so we see it, but we're not going to be able to read it. So, you know, we got so much going on today, and I want people to look at our lives. We're in a place where we're eating toxic food. They want to make us eat synthetic food now, synthetic meat. I don't eat meat, so it's not my problem. But people that do, I mean, more people eat hamburgers and hot dogs and pork and all that than anything else. So, yeah, if they stop producing meat and start forcing people to eat genetically coded meat, it has to have some effect on the body, because the body reacts to chemicals.
Enzymes. It releases the stomach, and the stomach releases hormones and enzymes. So if it can't it won't be able to release those hormones, and then the human race will either starve to death or it won't be able to digest the food.
All right. I just want to bring this out, people. I don't know if you understand the facts. When they say the virus, the vaccine that they're releasing is 95% accurate or safe, and the other one was like 85% accurate or safe. But, you know, here, take 1,000,000%. All right. And then you take 5% of that. That's a lot of people. And if it was 85%, take 15% of 1,000,000 people. That's a real lot of people. Some countries are already blocking it. All right. Now, what I was trying to get at, okay, go on TV. If you watch TV, people, I don't watch TV. Watch a commercial for any medicine they put out. Last night, whatever it was, and like I said, what medicine it was, it says this can kill you or give you cancer. I want to take medicine that stops me from sneezing, but I might get cancer or die from it. I mean, you know, here's a cure for something, but it gives you the chance of being able to die? Really? And
anything you put in your body is a foreign substance. If there was a cure for cancer, surely cancer would grow outside of your body. Or if we truly come from this planet, then a cure would be on this planet. It's not. So
they don't talk about
chemicals in your body to kill something in and from your body.
Well, synthetic sugar is probably the most toxic thing they put in our food. And it's been in our food for so long. People accept it. Now, I don't know in your country is, what is it? It starts with an S. The synthetic sugar. It was really, no. It was designed for face. It was used in the face cream. What is it called? And then when it came to the United States, it wasn't legally being able to be sold as an actual food, and they had to sell it as like a face cream, and people stevia. All right.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's used as a face cream somehow.
Is it?
Now they release it as a sugar,
It's a sugar here in the UK.
It's
Yeah,
a
I know what
sugar
you mean.
here
It's
in the United
expensive
States
as
as
well. I've
well.
tasted it. It's rubbish. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
And it's
The thing,
expensive for what it is.
I don't know if anybody drinks diet sugar soda. Diet sugar in
I
it
don't.
is horrible. Saccharin, NutraSweet, and all those things are gross. I live on sugar, real sugar, and I'm 68. I mean, sure, I'll probably die from sugar effects in my body, but I'll probably have more in my body than anybody else on the planet right now. Anyway, and am I stopping? No, I want to die happy. I don't want to die living on poisons and toxics and suffering every single day. No, I live happy while I can. All right. Now, people, I'm bringing this up because, aliens use us for food, and I'm sure they worry about what we eat as well. And I guess that's why the millionaires are promoting what they want them to promote. In some level, they have to be controlling them. And if that's not true, why would our government be doing things that hurt the people inside the United States? Now they're complaining about the people coming in. And I was writing letters saying, do we care? I care about people coming in because who let them into the United States? They came in, slaughtered the native people, and came in. Well, were they invited? No. So these other people coming in, don't we have a right to come into the United States? Isn't it the free country to come to? So,
The earth is the free world to come to. They take what they want, litter it, they chuck out stuff, dead carcasses they leave behind. There must be a law. You've got to leave all your crap here and then bugger off. But the dead bodies back.
I mean, I don't know how it is anymore, but when I was younger, my friend, his family was in Cuba, and he was trying to bring them into the United States. They don't let good people go. Prisoners to let go. People of crime to let go. But when it comes to family people working, they don't let them go unless they pay a high tariff. And he had to pay twice $15,000 for his sister. They wanted $50,000 for his mother to release her from Cuba. So,
you're selling human beings. Is that not slavery? Jesus.
It's very close to it. But the idea of now they're going to try to open cruise liners. They're trying to open up the planes. Well, the country has to open up, and what will be will be.
I think you're going to have a long wait here in Europe. I think it was announced within this last week or so that Europe's just starting to go through their third wave. I think the UK, we've just eased down from our second, but it's just start of a huge third wave in Europe.
You remember we mentioned the word triffids last week?
Yes.
The movie. What about aliens eating toxic people? What if one of our viruses kill them? I mean, what if it works in a different way that they don't expect and they don't know because we don't know?
They don't. Well, this raises a question for me because a lot of people say they are the Greys are machines, but they look kind of like they look very real. I have seen something different that does look like something different. The little jelly baby ones, the ones that were operating on me. Now, when they were in my chest and they obviously touched something they weren't supposed to touch or something happened and this blood splurted out, some of my blood landed on one of them and it freaked. I've never seen one of them lose control or exert emotion or anything like that. And it was next to me and they stopped me hearing its thoughts because it freaked out because my blood splashed on it. I wasn't expecting it, and that thing freaked. So it's obviously frightened of human blood. In case it got a disease or something from me. I don't know. Bit of panic. So it doesn't like human blood.
Well, I had somebody I know personally. I went out to the ranch, the Stardust Ranch. It's really hardcore for UFOs, aliens, demons, creatures, you name it. But he claimed he killed 18 Greys. He said the acid actually put holes in the floor when it dripped on the floor of the Grey. He had the blood tested. They said it's not of planet Earth, but in the interim, like you're saying about this blood thing, they all need our blood. The reptilians need our blood as well.
They have clone blood, when when this thing ruptured, or whatever they touched, or whatever they did in this thing, they weren't going to fix me. They're very black and cold inside. They're very quite prepared just to like dump me out of the dungeon and bring another one in. But the one that knows me, I think, made and fixed me. I don't think it was something they wanted to do, but when they came out, they had a packet, like a clear packet. It was about a hand size. It would have fitted in my hand, like that. It's a bit smaller than like a normal envelope, and fold it in half. It's probably a bit like that, but it might have been a bit smaller because it was holding it. It looked huge in its hand, and they showed me images in my head. They have clone blood, and it's like it was a clear bag with this long, it was like a long tube thing, but it didn't know. It was only like a stodgy tube, not like it was like stodgy, and it was clear. It was like hyaluronic acid. Have you ever seen like clear hyaluronic acid? It looks like serum, like hair serum, looked like clear serum. But when he showed me images in my head, it was like it was zoomed in, and you could see the microscopic cells in there. They looked like blood. They were like red blood cells, but they were clear. And they said they had to give me this clone blood, because if I didn't have enough blood, that I would, thank you very much, that I needed it to survive, so I'd die. So they put me to sleep. But just before they put me out, I must have had a thought. I didn't say anything. It must have been a mental reaction, and so the thought was like I was frightened of what was in the clone blood, and he said it's clear, it's empty blood, and the blood cells they would give me is this clone blood. So it's blood they've made, and they gave me it in a thing, and said it would attach itself to my blood and my blood cells, and so it would just like suck one of my red blood cells in, and it would take on my DNA from the blood cells, so my blood wouldn't either detect it or wouldn't see it as a foreign body, because I was worried it was going to make me sick. And I must have come across that I was worried that the blood was going to make me sick, and I didn't know how to tell him. And he answered my question in a flash. So they have blood, but they make their own. So whether they do need us to make the clone blood or get an idea of how to make blood, they obviously don't store blood, but they have clone blood, which they either must use that universally, or they must use it to repair patients or people like me that they've accidentally chopped up the wrong way.
Blood's not red.
Sorry?
Blood's not red.
No, the cells.
It turns red from the oxygen. Yeah. But in the body.
This was clear. Yeah, well, I didn't know. You just said it was clean, but it was clear.
Halfway down underneath the water, it's yellow, and then it turns clear when you go all the way down. The amount of oxygen touching it. But the idea of these races, they want everything to create life for their race. I'm not saying I blame them. I mean, your race is dying. I mean, even the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, those kind of stories where the daughters had to get the father drunk to have sex with them to produce their family. I mean, when your family starts dying, and man's ego is to keep their family alive, their chain, their name, and all that. And that's what kind of really hurt the planet. So we can create our synthetic lifestyle and our families, but is it important? What is really important right now? What is important to people right now? I mean, people just barely making enough money to buy food and everything. And Hawaii, the food market is going up horribly high. And it hurts people because most people don't have money to buy everything they want to eat, or even half of the things they want to eat. Luckily, we have papayas and avocados and things like that everywhere. So, I mean, you could always get something to eat to live on. I mean, I got 2 avocado trees around my house. I got like 20 papaya trees. I don't even like papaya anymore. But, when you're starving, like liver koi and things like that, I have a tree on my property as well. So if I was starving to death, I could always eat that kind of food to live. So, but in the interim, when you have these people coming into this country, our country, I call it a country, Hawaii, and they got no money, they have no place to live. I mean, we have the highest homeless people, But why I'm bringing it up, because aliens know that. They know where populations are super high and there's super homeless people. You think they don't abduct more homeless people than not?
You know, just that's made something pop in my mind there, Tommy. It's funny how the last 5 to 10 years they were saying before the COVID came along that the human race will be dying shortly. The planet is so hugely overpopulated. Like the elderly population in every continent is so huge now because we're aging, and all of a sudden, conveniently comes along coronavirus and manages to kill a lot of dead wood off. You know, it's amazing timing to kill off the elderly population. I just find that,
But see, here's the thing.
you know, fantastic.
No matter, as of right now, no matter what we do, how we do it, we're still moving forward. 150,000 people die daily, 300,000 are born daily. So we're always moving ahead no matter how many people die on a day. So unless there's a major ending to like the whole United States or all of Europe or something like that, will it change that numbers? Meaning the population went from 6 billion to 7.4 billion in a couple years now. And if it doesn't change, we will reach 10 billion. All the things I heard, no, and was prophesized and everything. If we reach 10 billion, the whole system will completely change reality because the energy level and everything else will be so different. But you know, the New World Order, the MJ, what do you call it? The people that want to change that reality. All right, U.S. and Agenda 21. We moved into 21 now, and it's 21, 22, 23, and 24. So they think by 24, the world will be under complete control, one world government. Now, people don't understand China's viewpoint, Russia's viewpoint, the United States. They have different agendas, just like every alien race that comes here. The Greys don't have the same agenda as the reptilian race does. And they're the ones that are doing more havoc to this planet than anybody else are. The Pleiadians aren't really affecting us. They did say they will cause a war with us if we kill any more or shoot down any more of their planes, the ships. But the government's pretty leery about telling us anything about that. So when this release comes in the next couple months, in the United States anyway, considering we have been dealing with aliens in a great way, not like every other country. We got involved with
See,
bringing...
Tommy, I'm sure you're psychic. Just to go back to a minute ago, the UK this week announced that they are stepping down or stepping back or reducing down their nuclear warhead stock. They're no longer, and they're getting rid of it. So there was a big outcry about something. I'm not quite sure about the full story because it was only released today. I think yesterday or today, because they was saying that we were cutting off aid to other countries to be putting money back into a nuclear program, but they are deactivating our nuclear program. So it'll be interesting to see what they're doing with all the nuclear warheads. How they're going to disassemble them and what they're going to do with that.
One thing in the UFO world that came out years ago that they never really made it public, but mainstream, the alien race shut down 5 different nuclear bases. All right, for a short period of time, for an hour. I kind of look at it as like the day the earth stood still. They could shut it down. Well, if they shut the weapons down, are they going to stop war? Of course not. See, the idea of population taking people, is part of their project. So would they just don't want the world to be exploded and torn apart. Then their whole idea of getting their food chain and everything else they want would be destroyed. So there's reasons, and it's not because they care about us. Like Tina will tell you all about, and she already mentioned it. They're not loving, compassionate beings. They're not like the concept people program that think God is.
There is something in them that is like us. We must be. We are not compatible, but we must. For them to be able to speak to me, I must be like a dumb ant to them. But for them to be able to physically, mentally speak to you through telepathy, if that's what the word is, telepathy, if they can speak to you inside your head and show you images and take you places, and it took it must have taken years for me to understand them, because I didn't. All I remember was like the grey mist. But it wasn't till like they lean over you, or they connect with you, or they bond with you, you can understand them. So if we can understand them, physically they don't speak. I've never seen their mouth. I've never seen that move. But if they physically can be here, there, or up in the sky, or wherever, and mentally talk to you through telepathy, then we are on their wavelength, or we are compatible in some way. We can communicate.
Well,
so there is a link there, but where it is, I have no idea.
Again, I have to go from my direct experience of what I experienced when I was in Atlantis. We didn't talk. Very few people talked. It was all direct communication through telepathy or words you want to use, but it was inner awareness that you knew and felt what the other person thought and felt and was thinking. So it's not like it's a new technology or nothing like that. It's always been here. We lost that ability. I mean, that kind of communication. Sure, there's a couple of psychics that have little abilities. There's people that say they can talk to cats and dogs and things like that as well. But let's go into the facts. We don't have anybody on this planet that's 100% psychic at any level. I mean, some of these people, I'm waiting to challenge this guy. He claims he's the top mystic. He was friends with the original Bernie Hill, Barney, the two people. Yeah. Okay, he was friends with them. But now he claims he's the top mystic on the planet. Can change time, stop time, do all these things. I'm waiting to debate him. He said he would. I said, feel free. I said, look, give me a date, give me a time. My show, your show, offline, online, wherever you want to do it, we'll do it. And that's not happening. People put their 2 cents out there, but they're not willing to say, okay, I'm going to stand by it. I challenge everybody from Richard Dolan, Corey Good, every week. I said, come on, grow some balls and come out and debate your truth publicly so people can hear the other side of your truth. This movie's coming out, so now Corey's going to say he was in the future for 20 years in this futuristic city. He came back to here now. What reason? I mean, they took him back and did all that, and what's he going to do? Make a movie, make money? And it's not about making money. People on this planet think life's about making money. They don't know anything about the spiritual worlds. Nobody.
It's about being happy and content and peace, a bit of peace.
But it's make believe, feeling good. And I told my partner this.
That's something you can only achieve yourself. I can't tell. But when you love someone, that love or the feeling or the emotion, whatever you want to put label on it, that comes from within you, and you can't project that onto someone else because everyone feels different inside. But for you to know what that is or feel what that is or identify that can only come from how you feel. But it's just someone else that's activating that within you.
Well, love's a totally different ball game. I mean, what people want it to be, what people turn it into, is not even close to what it is. I'm still working on this workshop. I've been working on it for a year already. And I hope to do it soon. I might have to do it by myself. I really wanted to bring somebody to do it with me, but I haven't found anybody that's capable or at a level that can understand what I'm trying to go through and bring out, at the same point being able to help me bring something else out. I have a friend who is one of the top exorcists in the United States. We agree on many things, and I still have him in the background because he works with people. He teaches them how to fight spirits, demons, and all that other stuff inside themselves and outside themselves. So he's one of the persons that would have some information. Nobody I talk to has any kind of big or great or an aware understanding of what God really is. I mean, all the teachings in all religions give you a programmed idea of a man-made God. All right. Compassionate, loving, watching over us, protecting us. All ridiculous ideas. When it created dinosaurs, it wasn't loving the planet. It wasn't loving the dinosaurs and every aspect. When it created a roach, which is still here, was it a loving, compassionate thing? I mean, the words that we give to God and created, That was a synthetic thing. And when you go into the first religions, Hinduism and stuff on this planet, they were dealing with deities. And there was a fine line between deities and aliens. And they are separate. They're not the same. Where people say they're the same, where Christianity say, well, they're all demons. I mean, people classify what they don't know into something that they think they know, which is sadly why people say aliens are good. I said, show me one good thing they did for mankind. Oh, they saved us from what? They didn't save us from the dinosaurs. They didn't save us from the giants. They didn't save us from what? What did they save us from? They didn't save the Egyptians from anything.
They're not saving us today. We are still digging holes in the earth. We're still taking stuff out of the earth. We're still burning rubbish. We're burying rubbish. If they're really here, they are here, but if they're really here for a positive purpose to save mankind, well, they should start by saving the earth first. Perhaps they are. Perhaps they just want to get rid of us. But they should show us a way to use their they showed me how to use their reusable, renewable, whatever energy. So surely it's for us to be polluting our own planet and killing our planet is something they should be putting a stop to.
Here's a scenario though that an alien race did. Tesla worked with an alien race. They gave him 200 inventions. 50 of them were weapons. The Tesla Museum has most of the other inventions, but the United States took 50 of them. Those 50 weapons are the most dangerous things on this planet right now. They created the most dangerous things that caused the most dangerous things to happen to the planet, which was the HARP system. I mean, and the Philadelphia experiment. Both of them destroyed the ozone around our planet and created a vortex to allow this energy to come into the planet. Never mind the weapons that they created. Now, what I was going to say when you were talking about nuclear weapons, they're obsolete. My brother explained to me years ago about a neutron bomb and one you can destroy the people without destroying the city. Don't destroy the city, just destroy the people. All right, that's one idea about it. But by the same token, they released videos, and they were out years ago when we were in the war, how they were using these lasers to kill people. They blasted a car, and they actually blasted a person and split them right in half.
It's sound waves now, pulse and sound waves, isn't it?
They're using the sound waves on people riding in the United States right now. They were using it on the native people on the pipeline. And there's other rides that I just heard, they were using it on them. And they said they could turn it up, which would actually kill them. That's how bad. But the weapons and the technology is so far advanced, we don't have to blow up a city or anything like that anymore. We could just wipe the city out. So the technology is so bad. But realize these aliens that gave it to us had a reason. Now, time travel, which we should have never messed with, which we are, was the root of all evil. Now, maybe the aliens were stupid and didn't realize once we touch time travel, we'll screw it up. All right? Whether they had the perfect way to use it to bring things from the past into the future.
I think they're looking at time wrong myself.
So, but again, what's happening with it? We created a horrible vortex, which can actually bring the end to the planet rather fast. Well, somebody said, I'll go back before that happened and make the world better again. Remember, there's always a point when you can't. All right. If you go back before it was created, guess what? You can't create something because you're not God. So we play God. We think we're God. And with all these spiritual people thinking they're God, we're pulling so far from anything we should be aware of, the truth, what aliens really want, understanding that, learning to fight and work with that. However, the people that are disappearing, does people realize that? Do they care? Well, as long as it doesn't touch their home, they don't care. If they turned around and they were having Christmas dinner and 3 of their children at the dinner table, they might become a little more aware of what's happening. But no, when they go camping and they turn their head and look back and their child's gone, how'd that happen? The park rangers and stuff don't care. They're not releasing those facts. They're not telling people what's going on. So there's so many twisted things. So if the government comes out and says, Tic Tacs are real, we got real UFOs flying above us, what are they going to say after that?
Well, again, to point out that fact, other countries apart from America, I named two. I think you named another one, maybe two. Have already came out and said UFOs are real, and that is like you're talking. They're members of parliament, they're ministers, they're leaders of the countries, military leaders are coming out and saying, yeah, they're real, they're here. It's just the US and England hasn't come out and said it.
Well, again, what I was trying to say, China, and I believe this totally, we're not working with aliens in any way possible. Now, Germany, they said, oh, they had these ships. No, their ships didn't do anything. They looked like a UFO, but they could just barely hover above the ground. They're not going to travel at the speed of light and go to Mars and all the other stories that you hear. So when you hear, oh, that was a German ship. Oh, the fleet of ships that went over to Washington, D.C. in 1952, nobody has a clue what really went down then. They weren't Russian ships and they weren't Chinese ships. They weren't people, well, they had to be, they were drones. Really, drones? So, we need to wake up, people. The time is now. Hopefully, when we hear the news, we're going to realize it's not the only news coming out. And it's not the only
time it is nearly time for, Tommy. Nearly time for you.
It's time for you to do that again. Now, we have this thing where Tina pulls out her Geiger counter and shows us if she's radioactive today or not.
Yeah, that's right. So this is a Geiger counter, guys. I bought this on Amazon. Tommy has an identical one, and he'll get his out in a second. So this button here switches it on. So there you go. So just hold it towards the TV. It's the light. Let me just try and move that light a bit. Is that any? That's you probably. Oh, look, they're lights. There you go. So hold it towards the TV, and it doesn't. It says nothing. The top one is volts per meter. The second one is microteslas. So that's electrical, magnetical field, and radiation field. So it doesn't go off near the TV. It will do on the screen on a lot of things, but I have one of those smart computer things, so it doesn't give off radiation or anything like that. My phone is there. It's not beeping. So again, the top one is volts per meter, electrical, magnetical field, and the bottom one is radiation. So we'll put it on one side. We give it a go. Oh, there you go. I'm giving off radiation already. Can you see that there? That is 30, 28, 30. The closer I get, the more it goes up. So there you go. Seems to be that side every week there. Further back I go. Further back I go, the more it goes up. I've just got to try the other side so people can see it.
I'm trying to find. Oh, I just found it. I was looking all over for it. So
oh, God, it's got on both sides this week. So can you see that?
Yes, we can.
That is really going up there, isn't it?
I'm trying to put it in my glasses that you see the reflection of it.
So I'll put it sideways so you can just see the reading.
I don't know. Where's the camera? Let's try to get it in there. I'm not radioactive. I was never radioactive. Only Tina was. And she goes up and down. She goes up and down with that.
There's nothing in the middle. Nothing in the middle, but...
Nothing in the middle? How's that even possible?
I don't know. There you go. So there is... 0.40 3641 microteslas, and then the other, there's nothing in the middle. So let's go to the other side, and there you go. Oh, that was 60 then. 62. Put it further back. No, it's only that bit there.
So, people, just so you know, radiation is not something that comes and goes. Radiation showed 0, but
when I put it on my head, it doesn't.
But when Tina turns into radioactive fields, it's crazy because it's not possible. And if you don't believe me, check with anybody you know that's in the scientific end of life and work how radiation reacts and how it exposes itself. The only thing that can actually turn it on and off is CERN, CERN. When it's on, it produces a magnetic and radioactive field. And when it turns off, it's this
Sorry, my
radioactive
dog's
field there.
moving. Good boy. You're
So
right.
how Tina gets this radioactive field around her and stuff is mind-boggling. There's no physical answers to it yet, and we're waiting for somebody to come up with that answer, which probably might not ever happen, because radioactive materials last forever. They last for 100 years. And for just
Mine does, and it comes and goes.
in a second, it's there today for a half hour, and it's gone for 5 minutes, and it comes back later. So the whole thing is really crazy. I mean, we do that just to show you that, and I feel it's one thing that shows that she's different in a lot of ways than everybody else, whether she wants to be or not. I just
Thanks,
said,
Tommy. I'll take that as a positive.
I'm glad it's not killing her.
Thanks. It might be.
Some people, radiation die. I don't know if you watched the movie, I guess it was Silkwood or something, with Cher and everybody was in it, about being in a radioactive corporation, and she gets exposed to radiation.
Yeah, years ago, yeah.
But you can't wash it away, and there's nothing they could do about it. So for Tina to go on and off like a switch, it's mind-boggling. And I think it has to do with something what the aliens did to her in some way. I mean, for it not to be on all the time, because if it was on all the time, she wouldn't be around too much longer. She does have the effects of it.
Yeah.
And they kind of slowed down recently, but she was going through all the major effects of radiation poisoning. Now, you had the dog checked, and he was exposed to radiation. Did you say that?
Yes, he had. He was quite sick and lost some fur, and he wasn't too well. So I took him in, had a blood test because he had some of these lesions come up on him and that. And they tested him, and they said, "Oh, we need to take his blood." So they took his blood, and I'll dig it out for you next week. I've got it around here somewhere, and it says that he's been in the blood test results. There's something in the blood to say that he's been exposed to radiation. And it says this. I'll show you the result, and you can check the result yourself. I'll hold it up, and I'll take a picture and send you a copy, Tommy. You can look at it. Yeah.
So, people, I'm going to let Tina explain and talk about her books and everything, but I'm going to go on a little bit longer today. I just want to get into a couple of things, but people, you got questions, got answers, either or, text Tina or I, and we will put it on a show. We'll answer it. We'll do whatever we can to bring the truth out about it or talk about it. So this is, I want it to be open. I don't want to make it like just, I know the truth, nobody else does. I want anybody that really has any truth to come on and help bring it out and say it. I don't want storytellers. I can't deal with storytellers at any level. If you're going to bring some truth out, obviously you're going to have some kind of proof. Now, one last thing, Tina, before I let you go and let you get into your thing. Somebody said to me, I know you went to court to fight to get your video of your operation. Can't you get a lawyer and sue the state?
Not in the UK, no. So what happens in the UK is you have to get a medical solicitor, and they deal with the hospital's medical legal department, and they have goes before a thing called the medical council board, which you're not allowed to be a part of. That's done behind closed doors. So you can go to like so if you want to like sue for neglect or like personal harm, you can go before the criminal injury board or something like that, and then that goes to a court, but it still goes to like a medical court, I believe. But to get medical personal information released, if it says one form I had years ago, I wanted a copy of, and they said no because it had my husband's name on at the time. Even though we were married, they said we can't give you it because it has someone's information, even though it was my medical record about that issue. And they're like, no, can't give you that. So yeah.
Well, she had a serious kind of, but they won't let her see or know what really happened during it, which is kind of mind-boggling. But it obviously just shows something else the government's trying to hide. So why I said she has proof. I mean, even her boyfriend's cutting her implants out and things like that. She has a lot of little things that went on that are factual, not just, well, I had a dream, I have a vision. No, it's a lot more than that. So I'll let Tina go on and tell everybody about her books and stuff before she leaves.
So, hello everybody. Yes. So, but before Tommy goes, so Tommy's going to put his information up. We'll tell you the exact address that you can reach Tommy at. You can reach me at Hive. That's Human Individuals Visited by Extraterrestrials. You can reach me on Hive on Facebook. You can message me on Hive, or you can post on Hive. Anybody can post on Hive. You can message me at Tina Bird on Facebook. And send me a private message if you're not a friend of mine on there. Send me a private message, or you can go directly to Tommy. If you know me, then you can send me a message at any time. Tell us stuff we don't know. If we're missing something or we don't know or haven't seen something, please let us know. We'll get back to you. Or if we previously asked a question on the show, we always ask questions on the show, and you know the answer, and you don't want to come onto the show, just please let us know. You can message us, send an email, text message, on Messenger, on Skype. You can get to us on Skype too, so please leave a message on Skype. Tommy's just put his information up and down on the screen. Please do that. Or if you have a question you don't know the answer to, we'll find somebody and ask that question for you, and we'll try and get you an answer. Or if you're somewhere out there that you are an abductee or you've seen a UFO, we can give you pointers as to where to go for help or how to try and report that if you wish. So there's lots of help out there and stuff we don't know. Or I can only talk about my experience and the things that have happened to me. I use Tommy as my guide because he's a man of the world, and so we work together on the show, and that's what this show's about, sharing information. So on another notch, so now we've got that out of the way, I wrote a book called The Guardians of Light. Oh, dear. And The Brotherhood of the Night. There it is there. T.A. Bird, that's me. It's quite a chunky book, so I might break it down and do a 1 and 2 part and add some bits to that. So I might do that. And then my new release, I haven't released part 2 to this yet. I was planning to. This is a checkpoint. The part 2 is going to be called The Two-Edged Sword. But this is a checkpoint, guys. That's a picture of me there on the back. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. You can get it on download. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for free. So you can even get this book for free. I think if you send me a message and an email or what have you, we can work away. I could sign one and send one to you if you wish. So that's me, Tina Bird. I have author's page on Amazon, so you can check me out on Amazon author's page, and I have a public figure page on Facebook. So I've just launched that, so there'll be some changes and things like that. Again, I will be writing a UFO book this year. That's something I'm doing. I am writing a couple of other little books, but obviously it takes time. So I have to put a few of the other books on the back burner because I want to get me. A lot of people have asked me to put my UFO, my book out there. So I haven't done that as yet. I'm writing. I'm just getting permission from people just to say, can I say, mention them in my book to thank them. So I wouldn't want to publish something and not get someone's permission. So I'm in the process of doing that. I've got a lot of it together, so we're looking forward to releasing that. It's probably going to be called The Bonded, but it'll be the Tina Bird account. So we're looking forward to releasing that, but it will be later in the year. I'm sure I can get Tommy a copy. Meanwhile, if any of you do know of any news, again, please let us know. Or if you want funding, if you like to make me and Tommy some t-shirts, some cups, or some any merchandise you have laying about you'd like me and Tommy to give to some guests on the show or receive, then send it to me and Tommy, please do so. But look out for my books, and Tommy's going to be putting together a course in a year. And again, I'll see you next week. Tommy, from me here in Southampton in the UK, it's been great speaking to you again, and lovely to see you, sweetheart. I shall see you again next week.
It's always a pleasure, Tina. Stay safe, stay peaceful. Keep those little funny guys away from you.
I hope so, yeah.
Till next time, Tina.
Thank you very much. Good night, Tommy. Thank you. Bye, viewers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night. All right, everybody. That's Tina Bird. Like I said, I really like her. She's one of the most honest people in the UFO world that I know. So I want to get into just a couple little things before I sign out. There's so many people in the UFO world out there trying to make money off of UFOs now in a lot of different ways. Telling stories, making up stories, taking what they have and making it bigger, making it more dramatic, more outrageous. movie being made that should be out. The movie might be good, but it's a movie. How real and how important is it to the world? That's a different story. The whole UFO world, and I've been in it since I was 6 years old. No lie, people. I saw my first ship, and it was coming to abduct my brother when I was 6. So, and I've been plagued with that half of my life, on and off. I stayed involved with trying to be on a spiritual path as well, which was my focus point. So I really didn't take notes, and I wasn't writing everybody's story down. I wasn't trying to be a book teller on people's stories, like people that write books on everybody else's abductions and stories. Bud Hopkins is one of the most big names in that field because he wrote books and books and books on everybody else's story. And he never even saw a UFO or an alien or was close to one. So, I don't feel like it's a useful energy put into something that you didn't experience or know. I could go talking about being around the real Easter Bunny. Really? But when you tell stories, that's all it is. Can it help anybody else out there do anything? Now, I had a friend I worked with many years doing UFO work with, and comes and goes. We get into these major battles, and it's kind of like I'm going to end it because it's like I forgive people. Not that I want to, but I do. But when they bring garbage up and make stories up or twist them into something totally different, and they can't let go of it, what good staying around that energy? So the UFO world I was in, somebody I filmed UFOs with, we had thousands of pictures. I gave him every picture I shot. He copyrighted everything. I'm doing my site over, and I'm putting every picture I have that I actually shot on it, just to get some stuff out there. But we had he had a $30,000 camera, and we used to film it during the day, and we used to watch it in slow motion. He'd stay up all night watching it, because when you watch something in slow motion, if you're shooting 300 frames a second, guess how long that movie turns into when you're watching it? A long time. But we would get some incredible videos out of that. When we did a show called Strange Universe, I'm going to put the link on my site. We could actually watch it. They show a video he shot of a ship stopping. 3 little ships come out of it, and then it shoots out. Strange Universe was taken off the air. And funny, when we were doing the show, everything I said was cut out of the show. I was talking about some native things, which nobody is allowed to promote on TV or anywhere else. It's pathetic. But guess what? Mr. Biden appointed a person who is in charge of all Native affairs, making sure the things that they should have and are supposed to have are real and happening, instead of like nobody else cared. No president cared at all. And Trump did everything he can to destroy the Native nation as well, in his own ways, which people don't even know. And I say, how can you support somebody that would attack the Native people? Out of all the people on the planet, attack the Native people? I mean, haven't they been attacked enough? Well, we give more credit and more protection to the Black people, Chinese people, Spanish people, but the Native people? So this is going to be a new thing. I want to see how far it goes. It was just formed. So I hope the Native people get what they need, the help that they need and deserve. So, and the UFO world, and it's affecting everybody, including the Native people. Everybody wants to be part of it, the UFO wave. I'm part of it, whether I want to be or not. But the idea that everybody wants to say the Native people, Spanish people, you name it, the aliens help them. The Native people use the word star beings because they don't even know what race they were working with. They use the word giants. No, giants were good. They had to kill them. All races were killing the giants because the giants were always the bad entities on the planet. And the star system, I mean, everybody's talking about the ships coming and all that. Okay, where's the proof? All these people. Stephen Greer, I could go into it, but not right now. Claimed all these things and claims this, that, and the other thing. came out with this little thing, probably about that big, and it looked like a little skeleton of an alien, supposedly, which it wasn't. All right. For a whole year, he promoted it. So we need something a little more solid for the people out there. Like I said, most of my life, I was only dealing with it for myself, not to tell the world that women lose their children weeks before they give birth and things like that. I saw a sonogram of a woman that had a child, went to the hospital the next day, it was gone. Every speck of evidence of her being pregnant was also gone. Tell me that was a made-up story. It wasn't her dream. And there was no way she could have even gave herself a miscarriage or abortion or anything like that even. So, there's facts and there's truth out there. If you want it, you got to search and look for it. And you got to be willing to put the time in. Are you ready to face that? Or you want to just go down with the wave that's hitting the planet right now? I don't blame Biden for anything right now. And people already attacking him, saying this, that, and the other thing. The border with these children. Well, we can't take care of our children that we have here in the United States right now. So should we be allowing them to come in? Try to get into their country. How far do you get? I mean, it's sad the way countries believe that people are like separate. We're all people. We're all supposed to be a planet Earth. We're all supposed to be human. And we can't even accept that or respect it. And to think we're becoming more spiritual? Listen to any spiritual speaker out there today, and I'll give you the biggest bull story you could ever imagine. Because what they're pushing is lies. All religions out there are pushing 90% lies or even 99% lies. And I'll explain why. None of them know much about God. Do I claim to know a lot about God? I do. I can get into that. I'm doing a workshop all about it and helping people understand and what they need to do and all the things to actually experience that for themselves. And it's not like I just wanna. No, there's a reason. Jesus came to this planet for a reason, not a story. Mankind took his truth and turned it into a story. He didn't take everybody's pain and suffering. He didn't take on the karma of the world. It wasn't his place. He was human, but one of the most spiritual beings to ever walk this planet as a human. Awareness of God directly, which very few souls will ever attain in this lifetime or the next, or even the one after that. Because man is so attached to the 5 passions of this planet, they don't want to leave it. If you got an attachment to this reality, you'll probably never leave. Because you believe that this is it. This is important. This is everything. It's not. It's not even beautiful. Oh, the mountains are, the ocean is, but mankind destroys that every which way they can. So you got a choice. You can move forward or backwards. You never stay the same because the world's changing and you have to fit into that no matter how it changes. If the government passes a law, you can't go outside your house, guess what? You're going to be locked in your house. They come out and say you have to get a shot. Well, that's where the battle is going to start. The riot's going to get worse. We got a riot going on, and it's kind of at a standstill because this person's going to start going to court, the person that got killed. If the people that were involved with killing him get off, we're going to go back into riots. But at that point, government has to respect the laws, and so do the people. You do something wrong, you pay the consequences. There has to be some kind of system to protect the good and the bad from each other. There should be no system protects the bad. They are not equal. Once you kill somebody, you're no longer a human being. Oh, yes, he is. No, he's not. You give up that human ability to be a compassionate, loving being, to be a mass murderer, killer, rapist. Any of those words. Do you deserve a beautiful, I say beautiful because you get a room You get clean clothes. You get 3 meals a day. You get to watch TV. You get to do sports. You get to do a lot of things. And you don't have to worry about anything. And you have all the sex you want or the sex you don't want. I mean, it's a paradise for people that have no feelings and emotions and really don't care. And why they should not be together? A rapist and a murderer put with somebody that got arrested for smoking marijuana? Really? Sadly, who do these people go after in prison? The innocent people that come in. So our system is screwed up. And if you understand why about money and who pays for systems, why prisoners get so much money and what do they do with that money and all the other things. One last thought on money. The space program, which Mr. Rump said he created, was a lie. The space program was created in 1950, and it was controlled and run and funded by the U.S. government. And they had the power over elite, over everybody else, including the president. So it wasn't brand new. And over the past 25 years, the money that they spend has skyrocketed. When you hit the $1 trillion mark, you're spending lots of money. When you go over $1 trillion, you're spending a real lot of money, which they do. Do they care? Do people care? They should. All the money being spent on weapons? Oh, to defend the country. Whose country? Well, I just wanted to give you a little feedback on that and what's going to happen when, within, I'd say 60 days max, that the story, the government's going to release their files. We'll see what they release and what's going to happen with that. Oh, Tic Tacs are real. We need a little more than that. Not me, but people in general need a little more, a lot more facts and truth and what's really happening, what's going to happen, why the world's going to be taken over by robots. So with that, people, keep your eyes to the sky and look around. Watch the sky at night, in the morning. You'll see things. It's happening all the time. It's not a freak. It's not like 1 in a million people. The only reason why 1 in a million people might see a UFO, because only 1 in a million people are looking. Go out every night. My book, all right, it's free. It's an ebook. It's just a PDF file. It's about 200 pages. It's how to see a UFO field manual. All the things you should know and think about when you go out to look for a UFO, why, and all that. But please email me, text me. I'll send you the book for free. It's an ebook. PDF file that you can just open. So with that, till next time, Tina Bird's a great guest. I mean, I'm glad we do the show together. We've been doing it for a while now. So text her, email her, or me. Answers, questions, truth, whatever it is. Anything except lies. I don't need lies stories. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life. Hope you get it. Till next time. Send this link to everybody you know, please. Especially the UFO people out there that think they know something.